Cool. So we will start with some quick dipstick survey. How many of you are actually running your startups? So the light is very sharp. I will go here. Keep your hand up. And how many of you have actually raised funding? Some sort of. How many of you are aspiring to start? How many of you actually not planning to start at all? Okay. Cool. How many of you have heard of CommonFloor? How many of you have used CommonFloor? How many of you love CommonFloor? I love you guys. Cool. I think the topic is experiments, pivots, and the CommonFloor story. Should I start? So just let me know if I get overwhelmed by the story and get too much into it. Because I would want to keep this session more interactive. I think that you guys would have some specific questions which I would like to answer, rather than beat a one-way traffic, which we see lot more in Bangalore, a lot of one-way roads and all that. So starting from, I would actually go back to my childhood, because I believe that has a very strong role of in kind of making me what I am today. Though it was not very strong, not very, I would say, visible, but it was subtle. And I believe that a lot of people would be able to relate to it. And I would also talk about some learnings through the journey. So I come from a very small town called Khatoli. This is in between Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, very close to Roorkee. And it has almost like 50,000 population. I come from a very small town, very small middle class family. My father has a shop. I got one brother, two sisters. I'm the youngest one, the most spoiled one, and the one which always used to get all the everything which nobody is willing to do, right? Some guest will come, okay, Sumit, get up and get the water. Okay, Sumit, go and open the door. Sumit, do this and all that. So I think I always used to get frustrated that what the hell, I'm the youngest one, and you just kind of everybody's just shooting their guns on my shoulder. This is not fair. But what I actually got in that time was that everybody, I got always surrounded by people who are much senior than me, right, much elder than me. And always everybody used to compare with me, with my elder brother, who is 8.5 years elder than me. He's also from Roorkee, 8 years senior to me. And I grew up playing cricket, chess, carom with him. So like he used to become handicapped and take 2 elephants to Camel away, and then I used to beat him and feel good about it. So while my other friends were actually playing on streets, cricket, flying kites, reading comics, playing video games, I was not actually exposed to so many things, and I always used to sit at my shop, manage my father used to go, say, manage the shop for half an hour, or my brother will play with me on the shop itself. So I always used to feel bad about that, why my friends are doing so many things and I'm not actually able to do so many things. But I actually eventually started enjoying what I was doing. And I started studying also at my shop, and I started enjoying basically managing the business in terms of what is the profit. Every time my father used to go and then he used to come back, I used to tell him that, hey, I've sold 2,000 rupees stuff and I actually made 250 rupees profit. So it used to give me a lot of kick. And that was my small world. I thought that this is what life is, and I would actually go end up increasing the business, scaling the business in terms of I had always had a lot of ideas about how can we actually cut down cost, manufacture what we are buying at higher cost, and actually start selling it to more geographies around my city. But the life was around Khatoli and probably Meerut, Muzaffarnagar. I thought that is what life is all about. My brother ended up studying, and he ended up going to Roorkee, which was like a very big surprise for a lot of people, because that was one of the best college in the area. And so it became a lot more clearer that the elder son has actually gone to Roorkee, so he will become engineer, and the younger one will take care of the shop. So he's actually going to be there around, and my father had all the hopes that he will actually take care of my business. So I also got very excited, wow, I don't have to study, and I was actually planning to take commerce in 11th. And I thought I will actually be able to take care of my business, which I actually enjoy a lot. But then one event happened when I was in 11th class. There was a mathematics competition at the district level, where all the students of top schools and top students of the top schools actually ended up coming. I happened to be one of them. And so that was 50 schools around came, and around 100 students came. And finally, I actually attempted around 84 marks question, and 16 I left. And when I came out, I saw everybody was talking about they have actually attempted full paper, and everybody was very happy. So I was about to leave the venue itself, but then finally the prize distribution or the winners kind of got announced, and they said Sumit Jain. So I was very surprised that how can there could be one more Sumit Jain who actually is winning, and I said, okay, let me think who is this Sumit Jain, and they said father of Shri Y.K. Jain. I said, oh, what the hell, this is me. How can it happen? I left 16 numbers paper, and they were like all the stalwarts of the district who came. So I actually became celebrity overnight. You know, the newspaper started taking the names of Sumit of MG Public School has got Muzaffarnagar Ganitagya Upadhi Samman. So that was like too much for me. My parents got invited into the school, and it was about first time they came to my school because nobody cared about studies before that. So they entered into the school, and everybody is sitting in the assembly, and everybody actually stood up and started clapping. So I actually felt like top of the world. So it was the first, I would say, taste of the success. And that was because I just attempted some good questions in mathematics competition, and I became celebrity, and my parents felt proud of me. I said, wow, actually you can study hard and you can actually do something. So I thought, okay, let me study. I think let me study, and I can do business, but let me study. So I tried for IIT for 1 year. I thought, let me give my 100%. So that is a second learning that actually I gave that 1 year fully dedicated, undivided attention, full passionate. I was very clear that if I'm trying for IIT, I will try really hard. So from completely nowhere into the list of IIT aspirants from the town or from the district who can actually appear or clear, I ended up actually clearing IIT, and I became the branch opener also. So I ended up taking IIT Roorkee Computer Science, and I had the best branch. So you call it Kholu, right? So Kholu means like from somebody who was not even thinking about IIT. I am actually sitting in a college with being Kholu. When you say you are Kholu, everybody expects that you are the most studious one, which I was like very far off. The parents will actually come around my room and make sure that they get their son as my roommate, as my partner, as somebody who can take room nearby so that he can study more. While it was like a surprise for everyone, after 2 days everybody realized that it's a fluke. The guy has got something which nobody was aware of, and I was not interested in studies at all. So the learning was that 1 year actually changed me completely. It was not about IIT, it was not about studying hard. I think it was about, I did something which I never thought I will do in life. And that one thing, 1 year of my life changed my complete life. So that gave me a lot of confidence and something like, I can do anything in life if I try for 1 year. That was the learning. So I went to IIT Roorkee, and I did everything other than studies. So that was very clear that, I'm done with studies and I have to do business again. And I used to go to internships, get my college seniors, go and work with them in summers. I pretty much worked with so many startups during my college, and every time I used to work with startup and come back, I used to be a very different human being because I would know a lot more than what I used to know in 1 month or 2 months. My friends will talk about they went to Shimla and enjoyed. I will talk about that, hey, I actually learned how to build websites. Then second time I say I learned how to use APIs, how do you talk about SOA, service oriented architecture, how do you talk about launching a full product or using Amazon APIs, and how can you become Amazon affiliate, something of that sort, right? I used to like enjoy doing that. And these 3-4 years, I got surrounded by one of the smartest of the people, and I strongly believe that you are average of the people you are surrounded with. So what 4 years of Roorkee gave me a lot of exposure. My life became bigger than Khatoli, right? I started understanding that you can do business in so many different ways, and you can use technology also to build a lot many scalable business. So that was a learning in Roorkee, but I was very clear that I will end up starting up, and I used to start pair up with a lot of my friends, and I was very clear that I have to start. Now I have to convince these people to start. And what happens in college, you get to know about the people so much that I don't think that people change a lot after that. So people remain what they are. What you understand somebody out of college, the person remain almost like that. It's different thing that they get different opportunities and all that, but their internal emotional architecture does not change much, right? The way they behave, जब फटती है तो कॉलेज में जैसे behave करते हैं, बाद में वैसे behave करते हैं. जो बंदा घिसू रहेगा वो उसकी फटेगी 2 दिन पहले वो मराएगा. जो बंदे does not care about it, he will enjoy the moment of pressure. So all that thing happens. So I was very sure that I want to start with people who I'm surrounded with, because the risk of failing is less. But then I used to go and convince all the parents of all the friends I wanted to start with, and I ended up doing it, but I could not convince my own parents. that was a moment where I realized that what the hell, like, I was like so confident I want to start, and I ended up taking a job. Oracle came to the campus first day. I got a job, and I took a job. That was like a breakdown moment for me, where I actually realized that I'm like a hypocrite, right? I'm doing what I always said I will not do, and I'm not doing what I always said I will do, and I ended up taking a job in Oracle. So I actually started feeling that all that movement was starting up and all that was all fake, and I will actually not start up. So that 1 year of my time, I was convincing my family, convincing myself more of convincing my family. And in the process, I became like a salesman also, that you have to convince, you have to bring a lot of thing, and you have to talk about market potential to your family, talk about analogy of somebody doing MBA, and how are you better off, somebody going to US, how are you better off. So I actually learned a lot of art of convincing the family and myself. And then something came up, one of my co-founder, like Lalit Mangal, he told me one thing, something called self-image. Self-image is something, is what you think you are, actually you are. And in that 1 year, I ended up started believing that I will not start. So I actually realized that it is not about I can't start, it's just about that I have actually broken the confidence. And then one day, I went to the office at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I actually left and came back. So learning is, you think what you are. And you have to think that you can do. Obviously, you have to be substantiate that thing with the action and execution and planning, but you are what you think. So I left Oracle, came back from the office. Lalit also resigned. My other co-founder Vikas also joined. So we started. We did not have any idea. We just wanted to create an organization where we belong. We had a list of 10 ideas. I had a list of 10 ideas. Lalit also had a list of 10 ideas. And we thought that, hey, we are ITN and we have a list of 20 ideas. So it means actually we are a great entrepreneur, and people will be lined up waiting outside to fund us. And literally we felt that way. We went to meet first VC, and he said, okay, what are you guys building? We said, what should we tell? We are building 3 things. And he said, he was looking at us, and we thought, why is he looking at us? We are building 3 things. The probability of success is 3 times higher. And and basically he said, okay, let me get back to you. And we literally thought that he will get back to us. And that's a softer way of saying, boss, get out. So we actually came back, and we took it on ego also, that how can he say this? And we also realized that we screwed it up. So we said, now we'll not go to VCs, and we'll actually seriously fail ourselves so many times and build something which we actually can sell our kidney and build the company, right? So only we'll go to VCs if we are very sure that we are willing to commit our next 5 years on that. So let's take that 1 year. Again, the moment came that let me give 1 year of my life dedicatedly to build this business. After 1 year, whatever happens is fine, but I will not leave before 1 year. So that clarity of thought, that 1 year is a time, they are taking time bomb. After 1 year, boss, you'll have to probably have a pressure of joining a job or doing something which you never wanted to do. But 1 year is the time where you have to make it happen. And exactly at 11th month, we got to meet a lot of VCs. Like we got email from 3-4 VCs same day. Excel was one of those. We met Excel. We liked them. It was like a love at first sight. We really liked them. They were asking all the right questions. They were talking about product. They were talking about, they said, screw the business. We know how to build a business. If you can build community, if you can actually solve this problem, so we are with you. So just coming back, so when we left job in June 2007, from that time to December 2007, when we actually launched CommonFloor, we actually failed 4 times. So we launched something called Bankaro. That was about a true caller that point of time that was using your SMS backbone and used to kind of refresh your phone memory, and you used to work with the tower, basically cell phone towers, to make sure that whenever you get a spam call, it will say it's probably a spam. And whenever you get a spam call, you press *9, that will mark it as spam. It's like a Gmail spam filtering, how it works. So we built that point of time, but then DNC came, do not call registry, in September 2007. So we could not commercialize the service. So actually we tried building something around Twitter that point of time. We call it Uvaldo. We were frustrated ourselves. We said, oh, let people blurt it out and all that. So we built a lot of services. In the night we used to write, night out, couple of days we'll build it out, go in the market, people thrash us, we come back. So practically in 3-4 months we did our MBA. We realized that you have to have business, you have to have idea, you have to have potential, you have to have customers, you have to have so many things. And we did it like I would say the fast way, because 3-4 months we got hold of our strengths and our weaknesses also. So finally CommonFloor was the idea which I probably can talk about, but I think it's not very relevant. How did we come up with this idea? I will actually move fast and talk about the learnings afterwards. So we started CommonFloor in 2007. December 22nd, 2007, we launched CommonFloor in first apartment. And the idea was to bring everybody staying in societies, first floor, second floor, third floor, on a common floor. So the idea was to give them a common platform where they can collaborate, synchronize, synergize, talk to each other, and basically share issues, file concerns, manage apartment. And basically we had a lot of thoughts that apartments are the drivers for local economy. So when you see an apartment coming up, you see local stand, auto stand comes up, there's a school comes up, grocery wala comes up. So these apartments are like a urban mohallas, right? They actually, they drive economy. And people around 5 kilometers of the area they stay, they spend 70% of their spending. So we are very clear. We had used all our fundas which we failed earlier, that the model should have right audience, should have right model, should have viral effect. All these things were coming up, going off that point of time, right? We had around 35 million internet users when we started. Now we're like 300 million internet users. So people are talking about viral effect, network effect, and so on and so forth. So we said, yes, it ticks all the boxes, and we are excited about it. Let's go after it. So we built, in 3-4 months, we built 150 communities who were using CommonFloor actively. In April, May, we met Excel partners. So that's also a long story. The day we met Excel partners and the time money hit the bank, there was a 1-year gap. So we got money actually in 2009 because Excel partners got money in 2009. So they were not having money, they were Erasmus Venture Fund, and they funded companies like Chakpak and Mintra and Two-Step and all these companies, and then they raised funding. So we, Flipkart and Healthcare Magic. So we were the 3 companies which got funded almost around the same point of time because they became Excel partners and they raised funds. So we ended up hiring people. We went out of the garage, and that is one of the learning that we were operating out of our home, 2 BHK. Out of that, 1 room we have rented out to one of our friend, so that he can make sure that he pays for the groceries and everything. And in the hall we used to work, and in the room we used to kind of put a lot of beds, and we used to sleep. We used to hire interns also, they used to sleep with us. So that was like very good charged up environment, 24 hours we were working. But then we took an office which is outside Excel, just opposite to Excel. And we started working there. We had to go all the way, spend 20 minutes traveling both ways. And we said that why are we wasting time in traveling? But then we realized that the productivity was much higher. That is one thing a lot of times people don't realize, that you're operating out of home, you sleep in the bed and then you wake up and start coding and then sleep again. You don't realize that actually you lose a lot of productivity. And you get into a lot of your home stuff, right? Your cook will come say that, sir, garam masala khatam ho gaya hai. Then again unnecessarily you're out of your zone, right? So when we started going to the office, we realized that was like a zone for us, and we like working like 18 hours, we go back and sleep and come back, and so it's like it is very important for you to break out, which I realized because as an entrepreneur you actually get so much into it, into your idea, into your zone, that you don't realize that your productivity is getting decreased. So that was one learning. We started, actually it was like we used to work from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. It used to be like one full day for us. We have lunch and then again we used to work from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It was like productivity got double. Then we ended up hiring employees, we ended up hiring interns who were female. Like they were not comfortable coming to home and working in an environment which was very shady. So we ended up getting people from our college, from people who were smart enough and stupid enough for not to work for salary because right, we did not have any money with us. So all these things happened and we built this community. We started pivoting around local businesses. So our idea was we could have built a Yelp kind of model for India because we had access to communities. Just let me know if I'm running over time. So we were building communities and we had local audience. So what idea was that we could build local businesses around and actually make them accessible, right, to the audience, and audience can have access to the businesses. So we tried something called Yelp, where we build businesses, you can review the business, you can add, we started letting people order grocery also on our platform, where you can put your list and then the list will go as an SMS to the grocery wala and local kirana and he will come with the stuff. Very simple, we'll charge 50 rupees per order, assuming that 500 rupees the order size. So we just piloted that. We also tried something on the line of Groupon, where we will come up with coupons and we will actually drop these coupons in the mailbox. So we did all kind of crazy stuff just to make sure that we build business. So we were like very excited about making sure that we don't build a company which is only built on user traction and all that, but actually has some real business. So we turned profitable multiple times. The scale was not exciting, obviously. And then 2010, around 2.5 years, we actually realized that our platform was, what we are sitting on was a very strong thing which could help people buy or sell rent properties. Because 40% of the owners who were staying in societies, they were non-deciding owners. So they used to rent out their property almost every year. And then a lot of seekers who were coming to CommonFloor were not the property owners or residents. They were looking to buy or rent property and they thought CommonFloor as expert in societies. Like we know most about societies. And you want to stay in a society, nobody can know more than us about amenities, about residents and everything on so on and so forth. So we actually exposed our platform in a way where owners can rent out the property, post their properties, and seekers can contact them. And suddenly we became India's largest platform with listings from owners. So all the portals that point of time, they were mostly like a broker directory, like a just dial for brokers, where you go and you find broker number, the property does not exist, and then broker will take you for a ride. Not because the broker is bad, but because right, the market was like that. So basically, CommonFloor, we started working with property owners, started letting them help the seekers find properties. And again, there was no business model. So what happened, we actually built a product for brokers also. Because India as a country is a small and medium business enterprise country. So if we talk about, let me just take 1 minute and talk about some statistics. In US, around 80-85% people work for corporates, around 5-10% people work for government, and then people have some businesses. In India, 65% people have businesses, and another 10-12% people are the one like family people, they work for businesses, like your chacha, tau, bhatija, your cousin and all that. So India is a country of small and medium businesses. If you don't understand that piece, as a startup, you always try to disrupt, try to say that, hey, I want to actually change the behavior and all, but please understand that you have to first ride over the existing behavior, and then you can change the behavior, right? So we were very clear that we have to make sure that we actually not eliminate brokers, but empower them. So we came up with a lot of products. How can we actually make broker get right properties, have right behavior? Obviously, we have not been successful in changing that behavior so far, but that is work in progress. And this is one thing which is very close to our heart, that how can a broker behave well? Like the same taxi driver used to not behave well. The time he come on the system, it started behaving well. I think that there is a possibility of a broker can also behave well. So coming back, that 2010 we pivoted around the real estate. It started flowing, revenue started coming in. 2011 we kind of visited some real estate companies across the globe, and few of our friends helped us understand the market. We understand that how does it happen. And 2011 mid we launched full-fledged real estate thing. We started working brokers. 2012 we started working with builders, where we started helping people find primary properties also. Primary means under construction and kind of properties which are getting developed by the builders. So 2012 was a time where we started competing with head-on with the likes of all the real estate portals like 90acre, Magic Bricks, India Property, Makan, and we were there, right? So then 2 years we actually pushed very hard. We increased revenue, almost 500% growth year on year, and we became like one of the strongest player in Bangalore. We were number one. And recently we merged with Quicker, where we realized that what we can do, what we could have done independently, now we can do much faster and much bigger. So, and one of the things we realized that at real estate, it is not something which you do every day. It is very tough to build a brand in real estate because people don't buy property, don't sell property every day. And then you have to be top of the mind, you have to always advertise, and the user acquisition cost is always higher than the monetization and all. With Quicker, we believe that because Quicker is doing cross monetization, they can help you buy, sell properties, cars, services, jobs, your goods, furniture, gadgets and all that. Quicker can probably touch you 5 or 10 times in a month than we. And that's the reason we can actually tag along and drive along and make sure that our product clubbed with Quicker reach, actually we can solve the problem which we always wanted to solve. And also we always remain a concept of tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, while Quicker actually has reached to 900 cities. So that also one of the thought process. And most importantly, we liked working together. We believe it will be fun. Yeah, I'm almost done.
Questions for Sumit? Can you have mic cross over there?
Ashish, what? How much time do we have for questions?
Okay. Can you please pass on the mic there?
Hi Sumit, this is Sandeep. My question for you is that in this journey of yours, what is the one mistake you regret and one thing that you think you did right?
So I will throw a one-liner. I don't believe a life of regret is worth living. I think life of failures is better than life of regret. So I don't believe in regretting. I believe in making mistakes. And I think that either you win or you learn. So I never regret. But the things I could have done better.
What's the mistake that you have done that you could have done better?
See, they are not mistakes. See, a mistake is not a mistake until it takes your life. Otherwise, it is just an experiment. So I don't call that people make mistakes because it is not theoretical, right? I'm not a robot that I can make things perfect. I have to make mistakes. So coming back to, I think that a lot of things I could have done better. I could have hired people a lot earlier, right? I hired a lot of people like head of finance, head of HR. Now I realize that I was heading finance and HR, while actually I'm not a finance and HR guy, right? And I was, when I hired them, then I realized what I was missing. So as an entrepreneur, you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you take a lot of time to know what you don't know. I also have taken a lot of time to know a lot of things which I could have done faster. So I could have hired people much faster. I could have avoided a lot of mistakes. I could have gone faster in things which I have failed. I think this is one thing, if I have to tell very specifically, we can take it offline, that I could have hired people much smarter, much earlier, because it's about if you hire people later, then you have less time to build a thing, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you build your company of 1,000 people, 2,000 people. I think that also one thing I did. I built a company of 1,000 people. I feel that I should have actually thought harder and try to solve these problems with product. You always try to chase against time. You say that, boss, people will take 5 months, I will take 5 months to build, people will take 10 months to learn. Let me actually hire people and force fit it. So I think in India, people are chasing, people are fighting against competition, people fighting against opportunity. While we should understand that it's not about the time will go away. We have to do things right. So try to make sure that you make your company as much as possible, less people dependent. This is one mistake I would say.
Sumit, can I just add to it, to something you just said? What will be the ideal size for a startup company?
What will be the
ideal size?
I think we should take it offline, because startup company is not a category.
In terms of your experience.
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends upon domain. You can have an IP company and you can have 4 scientists working for it and you build patents and license forever. Or you can have a company which is operations heavy, then you will need to hire more people. I'm saying that whatever people you think you should hire more smarter people, hire and make sure that you have to hire people, then only you should hire. And make sure that you build technology and processes to avoid hiring a lot of people. This is what I will tell.
So with 2013-14 was a sort of defining year for CommonFloor, right? Especially when your competition, housing, was all over the news. So as a founder, how difficult, easy was it to handle that kind of pressure? I'm sure there must have been investor pressure, employee pressure to go big bang on marketing, branding, because your biggest competitor, I mean, head-to-head category competitor, was spending a lot of money in marketing.
So they spend money in marketing 14-15. So, but yeah, just to answer your question, we were not bothered about competition so much, because as an entrepreneur, you always feel that you're better off anybody else. So that is like you always live in that mode of self-obsession and all. So internally we always used to feel that we are better than anybody else. And surprisingly, in our board meetings also, we never got that feeling that people are saying, boss, somebody is taking the ground below you. People are saying, boss, you are the best. Just make sure that you keep your head down and deliver it. So I think one thing which was common in our company, I'm not talking about to a lower level, employees get worried, they see a lot of things happening, but at senior level, we were too much focused about ourselves. And that is our focus today also, because we believe that we are not competing with any competition, we are competing with ourselves. And nobody has solved the problem. Frankly, the challenge is that nobody has solved the problem and the market is equally tough. So for us, the problem was not about somebody will take the market away, because we don't believe that property, you can force people to buy property. See, property portal is not something where you can make people, change people's behavior. Like I can make you buy a grocery or travel and all that in some other way, but I can't make you buy a property, because you're not looking to buy a property today, right? You will take 5 years to buy a property. Until 5 years, I might not even exist if the kind of spend I'm doing. So we believe it's a long-term game, and competition will not matter. What matters is that how do you build the ecosystem and how do you work with government, with builders and brokers. So we were never so much bothered about the competition. Obviously, it kind of evoked different kind of emotions within us, and we got a little bit more mature about that. When you're thinking about competition, you are giving them undue attention, and probably it's not even worth it.
Was there any learning from the competition?
Yeah, a lot of learning. If you don't learn from competition, the other poor guy is spending money and you're not even learning from it. That's not good. So I think that I strongly believe that competition should be leveraged, and this what I always feel, that competition can be used as a channel also, right? If somebody is launching in Lucknow, I say, hey, I should also launch in Lucknow. I would rather say that, boss, let them launch in Lucknow. They will learn, I will also learn, then I will come. So being number 2, like, I think first mover advantage is not the advantage. I believe fast mover advantage is the right advantage. So what you have to make sure that you prepare your arsenal, everything ready. When somebody is making mistake, you learn, and then he's done making mistakes, you go out and attack. This is what I think is the right strategy.
All right. So thank you so
Yeah.
much, Sumit, for sharing your journey from such a small town to Roorkee to building CommonFloor. I mean, it was really a good talk.
Thank you.
So there's a small appreciation, token of appreciation from Indigo Nation.
Okay. Thank you.